My name is Tom, and I work as a delivery guy for a small diner called Maggie's Place. I've been doing this job for a few months now, and I've never had any problems. Until that night, the night I'll never forget. It was a chilly evening in late October, just a few days before Halloween. The sky was dark and the moon hid behind thick clouds. I was getting ready to end my shift when the phone rang. It was an order for a cheeseburger, fries, and a milkshake. Nothing unusual about that. The address, however, was unfamiliar to me. I checked the map on my phone and saw that it was in a part of town I rarely visited. An old street called Maple Avenue. I didn't think much of it and packed up the order. I put on my jacket, grabbed the food, and headed out to my car. The drive to Maple Avenue was longer than I expected. The streets were getting quieter and darker as I went along. Finally, I turned onto Maple Avenue. It was an old street, lined with big trees and even bigger houses, but something felt off. The street was empty, not a single car parked along the curb, and the houses looked dark and abandoned. I found the house number 103 at the end of the street. It was a large, old house with peeling paint and broken windows. The yard was overgrown, and the gate creaked as I pushed it open. I walked up to the front door and knocked. The sound echoed through the empty house. I waited, but no one answered. I knocked again, harder this time. Still nothing. I was about to leave when I heard a voice from above. "I'm coming," the voice said. I looked up and saw a shadowy figure in the upper window. I couldn't see the person's face, but I was relieved that someone was home. I waited on the porch, holding the food, but no one came down. I called out, "Hello? Your food is here." There was no response. I checked my phone to see if I had the right address. It was correct. I tried calling the number on the order slip, but it went straight to voicemail. As I stood there feeling more and more uneasy, I heard footsteps behind me. I turned around quickly and saw an old woman standing on the sidewalk. She was staring at me with a concerned look on her face. "Are you looking for someone?" she asked. "Yes, I have a delivery for this house," I replied, pointing to 103. "But no one is answering the door." The old woman's eyes widened, and she shook her head slowly. "No one lives there," she said. "That house has been abandoned for years. It's haunted." I felt a chill run down my spine. "Haunted? Are you sure?" She nodded. "People say they hear voices and see shadows in the windows, but no one lives there. It's been empty since the family that owned it died in a fire." I didn't know what to say. The old woman seemed sincere, and the house did look like it had been abandoned for a long time. I turned back to the house and felt a shiver of fear. What was going on? Who had placed the order? I decided to leave the food on the porch and go. As I was walking back to my car, I heard the voice again, louder this time. "I'm coming." I turned around, but no one was there. The porch was empty, and the house was silent. I ran to my car, got in, and drove away as fast as I could. My heart was pounding, and my hands were shaking. When I got back to the diner, Maggie, the owner, noticed my pale face and asked what was wrong. I told her everything. She listened carefully, then sighed. "Maple Avenue, huh? I've heard stories about that place. It's been abandoned for over a decade. Must have been a prank call." A prank call? It didn't feel like a prank. It felt real, too real. I couldn't shake the feeling that something strange had happened. I finished my shift and went home, but I couldn't sleep that night. The voice, the shadow in the window, the old woman's warning, it all kept replaying in my mind. A few days later, curiosity got the better of me. I did some research on the house at 103 Maple Avenue. I found old newspaper articles about a fire that had destroyed the house 15 years ago. A family of 4 had died in the blaze. The house had been abandoned ever since. I don't know who or what I encountered that night, but I've never gone back to Maple Avenue. Every time I pass by that part of town, I get a chill down my spine. And whenever I hear someone say, "I'm coming," I remember that night and the abandoned house with the shadow in the window. Before we get into the next story, if you come for the first time, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for upcoming scary stories. We need your support.